The powerful new program I'm going to tell you about reveals why the rich really keep getting richer and how you can cash in on their secret to get as much money as you want now and forever. In just 15 days, watching only one video a day, you will be well on your way to real, lasting wealth. Imagine what it's like when you always have enough money, overcome every emotional obstacle to wealth, wake up your inner financial genius, make money whilst you sleep, create real money machines, leave the time money trap behind you forever, become rich no matter what your current income is, enjoy lifelong financial freedom, start abundance thinking that works in the real world, easily adopt a wealth mindset, and keep getting richer in any economy. Hi, my name is Igor Alexander, and I'd like you to know that whatever money issues you may now be experiencing, I understand. I really do, believe it or not. I have been in the same position or worse myself, but more about that shortly. Right now, let me tell you that my financial problems forced me to find an ethical, sustainable way to get and keep more money. If you'd like more money for yourself, and you've been frustrated or disappointed by what you've seen, heard, or tried so far, I have some important news for you. Until now, I have never found a program that gives clear, straightforward information for the average person on how to become wealthy and includes all the necessary steps. So, based on how I found my own way out of poverty, I built that program. Now, before I tell you what's in the program, let me tell you a little of how I built it. Now, I read about 30 of the leading books on wealth and business, taking extensive notes throughout. I sifted through that information and kept what worked and tossed the rest. Now, beyond that, I based this training on in-depth, detailed, real-world knowledge, things that I had observed over the years working with self-made millionaires in many different fields. What I learned as a financial lawyer putting together initial public offerings, IPOs, in international banking. I based it on what I had done myself with my business partner Cliff, building a fast-growing international training organization in only a few years. And I used what I have learned that really works coaching Fortune 500 executives as well as entrepreneurs who have vastly improved their finances based on my guidance. Now, it's important for you to realize that I made many mistakes along the way, and I learned from those mistakes. Making mistakes was the only way that I could have learned some of those things that you'll be discovering in this letter. So please, pay careful attention. It's important for you to understand why anyone can get rich and why so many wealth courses do not give you the whole story. The first thing that you need to know about is the wealth learning triangle. It has 3 sides. The first side is the inner learnings for your conscious mind. The second side are the inner learnings for the subconscious mind. And the third side are the outer learnings, simple actions that you can take that create wealth for you in the real world. Now, of course, many courses out there focus only on 1 or 2 of the sides of the wealth learning triangle. And that's not enough. And that's the major reason why so many people fail financially. It really is not their fault. They simply don't have all the information and instructions that are required to become wealthy and stay wealthy. Now, the good news is that I sincerely believe that I have the first and only training that adequately covers all 3 sides of the wealth learning triangle. Now, this training is easy. All you have to do is watch 1 DVD a day. It takes 60 to 80 minutes to do this. And you continue doing this for 15 days. Now, I'd like you to know that seeing too many financial train wrecks made me realize that I had to create and deliver this training. You see, when I first started in my career, I believed strongly in the books and the courses about prosperity thinking and visualizing goals. I followed every instruction to the letter, but I did not get all the results I was hoping for. Because my job involved international finance, I got to meet truly rich people firsthand and work closely with them. It became more and more obvious to me that there was a gap between what was written in the get-rich books and reality. Interestingly, the information in books and seminars was not wrong. It was just incomplete. People like you and me weren't getting the whole story, and only knowing part of the way to being rich, well, it was not good enough. And worse, there was a tragic human side to this that really upset me. I started to see people losing their homes, having their families put in danger, even facing total financial ruin. And all because they hadn't been given some vitally important pieces of the puzzle. Well, let me be blunt. This horrified me. I knew that I had to do something. Luckily, my own personal experience has proved to me that extreme wealth and financial disaster are equally possible for the exact same person. Now, a little while ago I told you that I am certainly familiar with financial problems. Here's how that happened. My grandfather was a self-made entrepreneur and was very rich. My parents were proud and they wouldn't take handouts. So, when I was a preschooler, we ended up bouncing between great luxury on the weekends, when we were visiting my grandparents, and a life of fairly modest means the rest of the time. Now, my grandfather died when I was around 5 years old, and the family fortune practically evaporated before our very eyes. My father had to work really hard so that my family life from then on was comfortable, but by no means wealthy. We were very middle class. Now let's fast forward to my early 20s. I had graduated from law school in the UK. I was using prosperity thinking and I was visualizing my goals. And I made what I thought was an enormous salary. The prosperity thinking was working. But at the very same time, I was getting deeper and deeper into debt. I guess it wasn't working quite the way that I'd hoped it would. To put it quite simply, I was making all this money and I was flat broke at the same time. Something was clearly terribly wrong. It took me years to figure out and replicate in my own life the financial glory my grandfather had created for our family before he died. And you need to know, I did not do this alone. I had a lot of help from people that you may never have the opportunity of meeting for yourself. And this is why I would like to share what I learned with you. I'd like to let you know why the right mindset isn't enough for wealth, and what else you need to become financially free. You see, as I sorted out my own affairs and began to accumulate a lot of wealth, I realized that the same teaching style that I have successfully used to help thousands of people to gain more personal power and influence would be required to help them get wealthy as well. You see, my approach to teaching wealth, in a nutshell, has been to map out the entire learning journey that a student needs to take to arrive at a certain level of capability. Then, I break things down into the smallest, easiest set of skills and knowledge needed to achieve that learning goal. And then, I would use my own skills to prepare the student's subconscious mind to receive each portion of information or skills before I would explicitly, literally, and blatantly teach the same information or the same skill to the conscious mind. You see, this speeds up the learning process and increases the retention of knowledge in a huge way. If you have ever taken any of my trainings, then you will know exactly what I'm talking about, and you will also know why they work so well now. Being wealthy is a mindset, a certain way of doing things with money, and a lifestyle. I worked for years to find the best way to transfer the mindset, the knowledge, the behaviors, and ultimately the way of being wealthy in the world